Generosity beyond measure. Understanding, generous to a fault. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the fascinating world of English language learning. Today, we're exploring a very interesting phrase, generous to a fault. This expression is a wonderful example of how English often combines words to create meanings that might not be immediately obvious. So, if you've ever come across this phrase and wondered what it truly means, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Generous to a fault combines two key words, generous and fault. At first glance, these words seem to point in opposite directions. Generous refers to someone who is willing to give more of something, like time, money, or effort, than is usual or expected. It's a positive trait, reflecting kindness and a giving nature. On the other hand, a fault is a flaw or weakness. It's something that's usually considered a negative aspect of a person or thing. When we say someone is generous to a fault, we're actually using a figure of speech known as an idiom. This means that you can't understand the phrase by looking at the individual meanings of its words. Instead, the phrase has a unique meaning of its own. Being generous to a fault means that someone is so generous that it might actually be more of a weakness than a strength. It suggests that the person's generosity exceeds what is practical or necessary, sometimes to the point where it could cause problems for them or others. For example, imagine someone who always lends money to friends, even when they can't afford to. Or think of a person who spends so much time volunteering that they neglect their own needs or responsibilities. These are examples of being generous to a fault. Now, let's see how to use generous to a fault in sentences. My grandmother is generous to a fault. She always insists on cooking huge meals for us, even when we tell her we're not that hungry. He's generous to a fault, always donating to charity, even when he's struggling to pay his own bills. This phrase can be both a compliment and a gentle criticism, depending on the context. It acknowledges the person's kindness and good intentions but also hints at the potential downsides of their excessive generosity. Understanding phrases like generous to a fault not only enriches your vocabulary but also gives you insight into the nuances of English. It's a beautiful way to describe someone's overwhelming kindness, while also recognizing the complexity of human qualities. We hope this video has shed light on this intriguing expression and perhaps even inspired you to be generous, though maybe not to a fault. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Keep exploring the depths of the English language with us, and don't forget to share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Happy learning!